both players are ready. Let's count it down for the CTBW match in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Alright, so as those two get started up top, we will focus in on Evesy and Tired, who are just over halfway now, 318 speeds. Currently 285 for Evesy, 338 for Tired. So Tired with a 50,000 point advantage here. Without Tired having to do a little bit of burning here. Which could give Evesy time to even out the score. So far, so good here. Although Tired now get into even more of a dig here. It's going to have some work to do to take care of this board. Toast getting into a little bit of a dig up top, but nothing too dangerous here. Still trying to get this board to a more manageable state so that he can get his first Tetris down. RxS already with a few Tetrises on the board here, so we'll have the early advantage on that match. There's a Tetris for Tired, up to 387. Evesy now at 445, so Evesy has pulled a bit ahead here. Those two players about 20 lines away from transition to 19 speeds. Evesy trying to force the decider here against Tired. Toast is going to get his board cleaned up here. Now just waiting on the bar for the Tetris. Gets the bar for the Tetris. So far 59,000 for Toast, 197 for RxS. So Ricky Stacks doing his old 18 pace antics. Because as we all know, RxS has only the best of paces on 18 speeds, and anyone who says anything else is blasphemy. Okay, meanwhile, Evesy and Tired are now both on to 19 speeds. Evesy ahead a bit in lines, but also ahead a bit in points. 544 for Evesy, 513 for Tired. See what these two can do here. It's Tired's board getting a bit complicated. Tired's trying to bring this one down, survive the current sequence. Oh, no hanging in on S piece, and Tired gonna top out at 517. Tired saying no way that hangs. I think it does hang there, Tired. So Evesy will take game 4, and that will make it a decider between Evesy and Tired. What a DAS battle between those two. Meanwhile, for our other DAS battle happening, we are just over halfway through 18 speeds. Toast at 140,000. RxS up to 260 here. So, bit of a suffer game here for Toast, but he is starting to turn things around now. Still, we'll have a bit of catching up to do here, as RxS is not necessarily showing signs of slowing down too much. S to the left is the worst. Yeah, you know how it is, Jedi. This is a... Okay, Stolen, whatever you say. Alright. 30 lines to go here for RxS and Toast before they arrive at 19 speeds. Now 239 for Toast, 322 for RxS. So RxS is about an 80,000 point lead here, but Again, still plenty that can happen here, especially on 19 speeds, where I have not gotten to see RxS play in a while, so there's no telling how he'll look on 19. And admittedly, I don't think it's been a little bit since I've seen Toast in comp action, but I know what Toast can do on 19 speeds. Usually saying our third set, our third decider. Hey, that's a sign of a good rivalry, I think. All right, let's count it down for UZ and Tired one more time in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Here we go. Toast is the first one into 19 speeds. He's got 344 on the board. RxS not too far behind, 407 for RxS. So Toast not behind by a huge amount here, but it's all going to depend on what these two do on 19 speeds. RxS prioritizing survival right now, not going too aggressive on the setup here. $422 for RxS now, 361 for Toast. Toast maybe contemplating a Tetris setup, but just also prioritizing survival, it looks like. So both players just going to try and out-survive each other here on 19. Actually, Toast going for the column 9 setup, gets the column 9 Tetris. So Toast trying to get a bit closer here. And still doing a nice job here. Meanwhile, early on for the bottom match, 123 for Tired, 118 for Evesy, so we'll keep an eye on that heated decider between those two. Jedi saying Toast knows what he needs to do here. Yeah, he needs to survive. But now RxS trying to do a little more than surviving as he sets up for the Tetris. 493 right now for RxS, 416 for Toast. So RxS still has a comfortable lead here, and looks like the bar is not coming at a convenient time right now, so both players just burning their boards back down. But RxS continues to maintain roughly that 80,000 point lead, so he knows that he's in control of this game, and that eventually Toast will have to make a move. Both players now on level 25. Meanwhile, Tired getting into a bit of a high board here, trying to find a way to get it back down. It's 210 for Tired right now, 301 for Evesy, who is having a heck of an 18 game right now. And Tired, oh no, hangs the S to the left again. It's the same thing as last time, and Tired is going to be done, which means Evesy wins the decider down below. And Toast hanging some pieces to the left will be done at 449, which means RxS will take game number 1 up top. There you go. So congrats to Evesy for winning the DAS battle here. Stolen saying this really is RxS pace. Oh, he hasn't changed a bit here, Stolen. He hasn't changed a bit. All right. So Evesy versus Ravioli will be the next matchup down below. Also, GG's there to RxS. Very good opening game. Tired, don't wander too far away, but let's get good old pasta going here. Time to start boiling the pasta. Coverdale saying I got a 977 from the D4 seed. Oh, yeah. That's incredible, my skill to turn 100 bar games into 600k into 28. Look, RXS, a win's a win. You want to torture people? Use the seed from game 8 of Wars? Not yet. Maybe keep that one in my back pocket for another stream. Alright. So, as I get tired, will be on deck, but for Evesy and Tired... I'm sorry, for Evesy and Ravioli, there's your seed. And then let's count down game 2 between RXS and Toast. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. I am assuming whatever Evesy and Ravioli are about to do requires a seed. So if it doesn't, then I guess ignore what I just did there for you two. Weird. Oh, it's no bars. Okay, never mind. Just kidding. I thought I had seen that mentioned earlier, but I forgot. I forgore. Sorry, Ravioli. In that case, whenever you two are good to go, we'll get started on the no bars. So, geez Louise, Evesy, what the heck was that pacing? 668? You can't just pull up a 600 plus transition like that, Evesy, and then not take it to even level 20. I'm doing no bars, Ravioli isn't. Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if Ravioli uses a seed or not. If he does, he can use the one I just generated, but otherwise, you can just play a normal game of Tetris then. But, alright. Then, whenever Evesy and Ravioli are good to go, we'll count down for game 1. Meanwhile, back up top, it is a close one early on. It's RXS at 122, Toast at 120. And both players will add a Tetris onto that. So yeah, that's my way of avoiding the Toastress. I give the score update, and then I tell them that they scored a Tetris after I give the score update. That's what my way to combat it. No, stolen. We're not out here to get world records. This is the after party, but this ain't that type of after party. You gotta save that for the after party. Alright, so far so good between Toast and RXS. Still separated by just a couple thousand points as these two just matching each other on their stacking and scoring. Easy saying, how's Toast managed to claim getting a Tetris during a score update? That's like the most common thing ever. Look, Evesy. I was trying to think of an analogy about, like, you know, Alaska becoming a state or something, but I couldn't make... somewhere in here there was an analogy for me to make, Evesy, but the point is, it's... don't blame him for drilling oil in the Black Pond, okay? No, still bad analogy? I'll figure it out eventually. Hello, Max, who says, it's been a while. Surely Mathwas has ended, right? Oh, no, Max. My dear sir. I am determined to drive this after party into sunrise if I have to. I don't. I'll work tomorrow / today. Off for Turkey Week, or like half of Turkey Week. I also don't have to work on Black Friday, which thank God. I don't want to be out on that. The roads aren't safe on Black Friday around here. All right, let's get another score update. It's 374 for RXS, 408 for Toast. I think that's about as much as much of a score gap as there's been between these two all game, and it's in favor of Toast. So kudos to him here. He's holding his own against the Das Max Outer RXS. All right, Evesy is good to go. So once again, Ravioli, whenever you're good to go, we'll get started here. Yes, tired. That's fine. That means, so for Maestro and Lapis, as soon as the bottom match is done here, you two will be up. See, I told you all this all works out. It's as Aaron said. I got a plan. Alright. Let's count it down for game one between Evesy and Ravioli. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, Tetris / triple. Because, you know, it's a no bars match, so I have to say triple instead of Tetris. But it's also half a no bars match, so I guess there will sometimes be Tetrises, depending on how well Ravioli stacks. But first, we're going to see how well RXS and Toast can 19. I thought they did a pretty good job last game. Can they do it again this game? We'll find out. Toast is going to have to go in with a burn into 19, but also gets a Tetris. 580 right now for Toast, 490 for RXS. So RXS finds himself trailing by about 100,000 points, and his board is already running into problems here. But RXS has what it takes to make the 19 digs. Oh, quick taps the T-piece. At least I'm assuming that had to be a quick tap, I think. Now RXS has to get this board down a little bit so that he can manage that left side. And he's managing it somehow. Oh no, Toast hanging pieces. And Toast is going to top out at 608. Man, that game had so much potential for Toast. But it means that RXS will have a chase down. RXS has to get to 609. 609 is the target, so you need 100,000 points here, Ricky. But man, I wanted to see where Toast was going to take that game. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, early on, it is 35,000 points from Evesy, 102 from Ravioli. Obviously, scores are going to be a bit differing here between Evesy and Ravioli, but I would bet that there will eventually be a chase down of some form that Evesy will have to take on. So saying that was second best transition ever that he's had. Fair enough. Well, we'll see if it's enough here to give you the game, Toast, as RXS has to get to 609. 609 is the target. You will be up next after the bottom match is over, Critical. And everything is first to 3. Just saying it'll happen sooner or later. Been getting 300k post transition a handful of times. Yeah, no, you've got the ingredients, Toast. You just gotta put it in the bowl, throw it in the oven, and then hope that it comes out as a max out cake, I guess. Is that how you make a cake? No, I don't think that's how you make cake. I don't know what I made. Maybe this is why I'm not allowed in the kitchen on Thanksgiving. Alright, 78,000 for Evesy, 226 for Ravioli. Also, Whoops. I'm not going to lie. I just assumed Arxis was going to get the chase down. I didn't realize he came up short. So there you go, Toast. You actually did do enough to take a game here. So it is 1-1 between Arxis and Toast. Arxis saying my comp nerves are back like 2024. Arxis, did you remember to eat food tonight? Arxis saying, don't think I have mental for this game anymore. I think you're just rusty, Arxis. That's my personal. That's my 2 cents. I even then, I saw you play against. I saw you play at Kansas City. You're not completely washed. Also, the chase down is on, Yvesy. Ravioli has topped out at 280, so you got to get to 281, Yvesy. 281's your target. Alright, Arxis and Toast are ready for game 3. Let's count them down in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Alright, so again, Yvesy, 281 is what you need. Alright, so we're gonna be here for a while on that game number 1 between Yvesy and Ravioli. Meanwhile, Arxis and Toast off to good starts on their games here, and so onwards we go, folks. As our after party is already at 4 hours and counting. Why am I not surprised? I guess it was inevitable. Oh no. Toast disaster striking his board. He tops out at 72,000. So Arxis, you're going to take game 3. Toast saying it was a good start until my dash decided to disappear. You know, dash is sort of helpful for playing the game, Toast. Just a theory I have here, but yeah, that's a tough one. Not much you can do there. Also, again, just going to keep reminding Yvesy, 281 is your target, Yvesy. 281 is what you got to get. Alright. Toast saying already playing with house money, though, so I'm good. Toast is just here for the experience. He accepts his fate no matter what happens. You gotta appreciate that, though. I'm just here to watch the game myself. So, all right, let's count it down for game 4 between Arxis and Toast. Here we go in 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Yvesie's triples are now adding up to be about 7,000 to 8,000 per triple for Yvesy, so at this stage it's about, I'd say, 7 or 8 triples that Yvesy needs to close this one out. So it can certainly do that before 29. Alright, again, 281 is the target for Yvesy. Knocks down another triple. At this point, about 2 more triples would do it for Yvesy. Even just singling and doubling should be enough. I say should because it's gonna be a close call. Oh no, Toast's board is getting high again, and oh no. Toast gave it his all, but just ran out of steam here. EFC, you are good on game 1, and RXS, you are good on game 4. Unfortunate ending here for Toast, but hey. Toast showing the world here why he is a rising star as a comp player. He is already an established star as a restreamer, so I don't need to mention that part, but Coverdale saying, should I go live? Well, as long as RXS is still good for the back-to-back, I believe so. But GG's, congrats to RXS here, but well from Toast. But yeah, I would assume you can go live, Coverdales. Because I think one way or another RXS wants to get this over with. Nope. Well, yes, Lapis, you can eventually go live. Alright. Sorry, let me count down game 2 between Ravioli and Easy. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. The RXS and Coverdales are playing up top, but no, you're after Evesy and Ravioli down below. How about Critical and my... I don't know if Coverdale's has another half hour. Coverdale's, are you able to... Yeah. Because I remember, it is at this point 12:20 a.m. You can still take a moment here if you need it, RXS, but...